All right, 8th grade. So now we're going to do what is called composite shapes. So composite is just when we take multiple shapes and we put them together to create a new shape. Or we look at a shape and see what shapes that we know create that shape. So we just really have examples for this. Example 1, the party favors have the shape of 2 identical cones attached at their bases. The base radius is 2 inches. To the nearest square inch, how much paper do you need to cover each party favor? All right, so I know, I'm going to draw in my triangle here. I know that from the center of this line out, and this is going to be a perpendicular what we have here, but from the center out, that's my 2-inch radius. So that's the radius. And then from the vertex down, that's our height, right? And so the height is 5 inches. Let's see. Now, the reason I have to know this is we're wanting surface area. How much paper do you need to cover? When we talk about cover, that's surface area. And we know we're working with cones. So with a cone, we're working with the fact that the surface area equals pi r squared plus pi r slant height. That's the surface area of a cone. We're going to talk about what we need, what we don't need. But right now I don't have slant height. I have height and I have radius. So this would be my slant height. And so that's the first thing I need to do is I need to find that slant height. This is a right triangle, so I'm finding that hypotenuse. So I'm going to start by doing 2 squared, because that's my A. Woo, don't do that. 2 squared plus 5 squared, A and B, equals my slant height squared. All right, so 2 squared is 4, and 5 squared is 25. So 25 plus 4 is 29. So 29 is the square of our slant height. So then we've got to take the square root of both sides. And so C is going to equal the square root of 29. Now, I just leave it as the square root of 29 because that's a more exact answer. And remember, we talked about that if we round anywhere during and then use that number again, that affects our answer. So now let's look at the shapes themselves. I found the slant height. I know my radius is 2. I know my slant height is the square root of 29. Now, we are looking to cover this. What we need to realize is our circular base is not part of it being covered. So this pi r squared piece, we don't need for this surface area. And we have 2 of these, the lateral height or area. So our surface area is 2 times the lateral area. Remember, lateral area is that curved piece that we're trying to find. So I know that my lateral area is this pi r slant height. Pi r slant height. So when I plug in 2 and the square root of 29, and I take that times pi, right? So pi times 2 times the square root of 29, and I plug that all into the calculator using 3.14 because that's what we need or have been using. I am going to get 33.82. All right, so that's my lateral area. I've got 2 of those. So now I'm just going to take 2 times that 33.82, and my answer is 64.64 inches squared. But it wants us to the nearest square inch, which is a whole number. So 64.64, or I said 64, I totally read that wrong. Sorry, I have my answer already written for me. 67.64 when I multiply that. All right, when I round that to the nearest square inch, which is the whole number, 6 changes the 7 to an 8. So we get approximately 68 square inches. And so that is how much it takes to cover. So just a refresh. I know for surface area that this is the surface area for a cone, or the formula for the surface area of a cone, and that I needed radius and slant height. So I made sure that I had my radius and my slant height. When I evaluated what I was finding the surface area of, we realized that the base was not part of it. So we took out the pi r squared and just were looking for the lateral area. Once we knew that, we realized that there were 2 of those lateral areas we needed to find, and so we were taking 2 times whatever we got for the lateral area. Our lateral area we find by doing pi r slant height. So I plugged in what I knew for radius and slant height, found that answer, and then took it times 2, rounded it as it asked me to round it, and that's how we got our answer. So you have everything that you need in order to do composite shapes. We just have to look at what pieces of the formula are needed, what pieces maybe are not needed, so that we're not doing extra work. It just takes some thought. Okay? We've got one more example, but I'm going to do it in a second video just so that the videos don't get too long. I'll see you there.